Movie lovers, bud smokers, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Five on It. We do two things here. We smoke doobies and we review movies. We are your hosts. I am Francisco. He is Sir Frazier. And on today's episode, we are ending the year on a strong note. We are doing our best of 2024. But before we dive into that, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, leave your best of in the comments below. Sir Frazier, what are you smoking on, man?
I am smoking on my pen tonight. I'm hitting some of the Durban Poison. This is from Higher Culture. They make really good cartridges. I've been rocking with them for most of this year, actually. But yeah, definitely a good flower. So check it out, man. It's a good high.
Yeah, I would say Crystal Clear is probably my company of 2024.
Yeah.
I've definitely been smoking on that a lot throughout this year. Their products are very reliable. So if you see Crystal Clear around, definitely give them a try. And their prices are very affordable, too. So yeah, if you see Crystal Clear, check them out.
I think I was at a dispensary nearby, and they had a strain called College Dropout.
It's like, I don't know if I want to smoke this.
I said, that's an indica, I take it.
It's like, oh, you smoke this, you gonna drop out. It's like,
I said, fascinating.
what if I'm already out of college?
I said,
Quit your job.
how long will you be carrying this? Oh, man.
You should take this off the shelf.
Man, so as was mentioned, we're going to give you our top 5 movies of the year. We're also going to start off, though, with a couple of our honorable mentions.
Yeah, we got a few honorable mentions to list off. Just a couple.
Yeah.
How many do you have?
I only have 2.
2?
We'll alternate. So I'll give one, you give one, and we can kind of talk about them.
For sure.
But you want to kick it off?
I'll start it off.
What you got for honorable mention?
I chose Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes as my first honorable mention.
Ooh.
This movie had a lot to live up to with the the first trilogy of movies that came out. Those have varying degrees of likability. I think they're all very good. I think not War, but is it Dawn? It's the second one. Whichever one's the second one that comes out in that series is outstanding. They're all great, but that second one is such a banger. And so this movie had a lot to live up to, and I think they fit the bill exquisitely. This movie had the animation styles on point. The story was still very good, and it's still, if you've seen it, it gives you an opening to a potential new trilogy that's awaiting for them story-wise. I don't have like the actors or any of that in front of me, but the actor he was also in Abigail. He was in I want to say a throwback movie called Smoking Aces back in the day, but he plays like the villain in that movie, Proxima or something like that. What's that?
Smoking Aces sounds really familiar.
Bro, that's a movie with
Is that a Western?
No.
Or is that a gambling movie?
Kind of this dude, Jeremy Piven is played by him, and he ends up trying to be a rat for the mob or something like that, so they kind of put a hit out on him. I want to say his name is Aces, right? Or what his last name is Aces or something like that. So pretty much all of these, it's almost like John Wick in a way, where pretty much all these different crime people, all these hitmen are trying to get this guy because they put a hit out on him. It's a pretty entertaining movie. They made a second one, but that one wasn't as good. But in that Smoking Aces movie, the actor that plays that was in Abigail, that was also in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Mm-hmm. He plays one of these 3 brothers, these crazy kind of backwoods Hills Have Eyes type brothers. They're entertaining as fuck. Chris Pine is also one of the brothers in that movie as well. Dude, this movie is a slept on, action-packed classic. Maybe not classic, that's maybe too much, but it is a absolute banger. If you've never seen Smoking Aces, check it out. I don't think it will disappoint, especially if you love action movies. But for the first honorable mention, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, like I said, it had a lot to live up to, and I think it did that and more. And that actor that plays Proxima is outstanding. Definitely give Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes a check out.
Yeah, that's what's up. Okay. I fell off after I think the second one in the series. Mm-hmm. but I did like the first and second one.
War is a little bit. War is the last one, and it has Woody Harrelson playing like the antagonist.
Okay.
It's a little bit of a step down from the first and second one. I want to say it might be the least, my least favorite of the three. But I think you should definitely check it out, especially if you haven't seen Kingdom. I think you should, because it wraps up that story. It tells you a little bit about what happened and everything. And I said it opens the book up for the new chapter.
Okay.
What you got?
My first honorable mention, I struggled a little bit with putting this in the top 5, but it did just get pushed out, and that's Late Night with the Devil.
Oh man,
This
I totally forgot about that movie. Shit. Bro, I got to start writing down. I don't want to cut you off or anything real quick, but like I got to start writing down all the movies that I watch from now on.
Yeah,
because
we actually watched this one. We caught this one together at the downtown theater.
Yeah, man, just because things just get lost in the shuffle, especially because we watch, especially with the show, we watch some older movies, so sometimes I forget like what did I watch all year, and when I'm going over the list, this movie just completely spaced. It wouldn't. I don't think it would have made my top 5 either. But I'm glad you threw this out there because it definitely should be mentioned.
Man, this is this is a supernatural horror movie, dude. I love the formatting of this movie. It was basically a talk show host played by David Dastmalchian is interviewing a lot of these supernatural occult type people. And over the course of the episode, he ends up interviewing the devil, and we learn a lot about his character's background, and the career moves that he's made to get to this height in his career. And it's dark, but it's really well done. I love the way that it's shot. Definitely one of the top movies I saw this year. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, it is. I mean, go check out our review as well on Late Night with the Devil. It's in our episodes list somewhere. But that movie, it's an absolute banger, man. And I don't really dig like possession type movies too much. I feel like once you've seen one, you've seen them all in a way. But this was a great take on that way. I mean, it's a great take on the found footage genre and possession. They did a great job with this movie, and seeing Dastmalchian in the leading role. Usually see him more supporting roles or just like small, not say cameos, but smaller roles than even supporting roles. So it was nice to see him in that lead and really carrying this movie very well. And the ending is crazy. So if you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it. Don't go to our review just yet. Go watch the movie, listen to our review. But then the ending is wild.
The ending is excellent, and that's just one of many examples along in that movie of just really good writing.
Yeah.
It's very suspenseful. Highly recommend it. That's my honorable mention. That's one of them. Back to you.
Second one, actually I took off one of the honorable mentions. I had on here Fall Guy, but I don't quite remember the second act of it. The first act, or I say the first half of Fall Guy, is really good. Stars Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt, Aaron Taylor Johnson, but I just can't quite remember because I think I hit on this little pen a little too much, fell asleep. So like I'm sitting here thinking, I was like, I remember Fall Guy being good, but let me take it off just because I didn't quite finish it. So with my second honorable mention, my last one, I'm going with Furiosa, a Mad Max story.
Oh, damn it, I forgot about that movie.
The second one. This movie was, I mean, if you like, it's part of the Mad Max family. If you liked Fury Road, I think you're going to dig this one. It's not as good as Fury Road. I think Fury Road joins my very limited selection, but it joined the 5-star selection in my opinion.
Hold up. Isn't Fury Road one of your top 25? I thought that was on your list.
All time?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was even higher. Wasn't it like top 10?
It was top 10, yeah. I love Fury Road, man.
That's such
a banger. Man.
Dude, I love to hear that. That's such a great... That's... As far as action movies go, I might have that above. Oh man, I was going to say Terminator 2. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can put Fury Road's top 3 for me, but Aliens and Terminator, that motherfucking Cameron. Those two are probably higher for me.
Man,
we're in the weeds.
Ooh. Well, I mean, yeah, yes and no. Man, that was I don't even want to get into it because that is a good discussion for another day. Where I would put that because those are absolute banger ass movies. And I want to say, Terminator 2 and what was the other one you said?
Aliens.
Yeah, Aliens. I want to say easily T2. I'm not sure if Aliens quite cracks my top 10. It may. I have to really look at my list, but I know T2's on there and Fury Road's on there. I didn't quite put in any order. Yeah. I just put my 10 best. But seeing which one edges out the other as far as those two, man, that's a heavyweight slugfest right there. So yeah. I don't even want to get into that one just yet. But Furiosa is
nice.
Well, what is easily an honorable movie to mention. It doesn't quite live up to the Fury Road saga, but Anya Taylor-Joy, Chris Hemsworth delivers a fantastic performance. Seeing him as an antagonist, I forgot what his name was in that movie. What was it? I can't quite think of it. But seeing him in more of like a villainous, antagonistic role, usually seeing him more like in that hero, whether it's obviously as Thor or seeing him in the Extraction movies. Second Extraction is a banger. I highly suggest watching the second Extraction. First one, second one's great though. Prison scene is fantastic. But Furiosa, honorable mention. Definitely check it out if you haven't seen it, especially if you love the Mad Max movies. I think it's a worthy successor. Not as great, but it's up there. What do you got, man?
All right, so let's see. For my second honorable mention, I'm going with the Challengers, the movie Challengers.
Ooh, I got something to say about that.
This is by Luca Guadagnino. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. I'm definitely mispronouncing it though. Starring Zendaya, Josh O'Connor, Mike Feist. I think is how you say his name. Feist. Mm-hmm. Man, this was a really fun romantic drama. Revolves around these three people in their romantic relationship over, 13 years. I love the cinematography, actually. The way that they shot it with during the actual tennis matches is a real highlight for me in this movie. I think this movie deserves the praise that it got. It's very entertaining. I'm glad that I saw it. I actually will go back and rewatch it at some point. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's my second honorable mention.
Man, I was listening to the Flagrant podcast. Akash was talking about the Challengers movie, and he was mentioning how it ends. Is this really how it ends? Like they're playing the tennis match, but then they end up like hugging each other or some shit at the end?
Wait. I remember. I think they do.
Because he was like pretty much being like the whole movie was actually like not too bad. It was all right.
Oh yeah.
But then he was like, the ending just ruined it for me. He was like, no fucking way that they're just like having this back and forth tennis game. They're just, going hit. And then all of a sudden they just run towards the net to each other and then they just kind of embrace.
Yeah.
And he was like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, after I heard that, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I can dig that. But like, I don't know, like maybe in context, maybe I can get with it. Well, but just hearing just like that quick review, I was like,
it happened. I think it happened after this really just hard fought point during their match, and the whole crowd erupts. After the point, after that point, mm-hmm. And I think the scene ends with them kind of hugging. Embracing each other, after, and everybody kind of like celebrating, giving them a standing ovation and wanting more, to see more. And then a close up on Zendaya. She's just as passionate as every fan there, just rooting for more, mm-hmm. Because they just witnessed really great tennis. That was the context.
Okay.
I didn't bother me actually. I thought it was interesting to see. It's one of those non-linear movies where it jumps back and forth in time at different points in the relationships and of these people, of these three people. And there's actually there's a sexual dynamic and sexual tension there, but across between all of them.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a fucking really great movie.
It's streaming now, so like.
Oh yeah, I don't know where's it on Max?
I want to say it was on Max.
I definitely want to check that out because like I said, I really do want to rewatch that because I remember really enjoying it the first time, and then not seeing it. I haven't revisited it yet.
Yeah, I want to give it a shot at least. So I'll eventually check it out at some point. But want to dive into these top five?
Man,
those were the honorable mentions. So let's get into it.
Let's go.
At number 5, we have, drum roll please, is Inside Out. Actually, no. Well, kind of spoiler alert. I actually had number 5 because I switched it now because I got confused for a second. I have the Netflix movie It's What's Inside. Now me saying that out loud, let me just make sure real quick. Okay, they did come out in 2024 because it was a Netflix movie, so I wanted to make sure that actually did come out in 2024. Not that I just watched it and it came out 2 or 3 years ago or some shit.
Okay.
But like I said, it is a Netflix movie. It was about these group of friends that are playing this game. This guy that was I won't say outcasted, but he kind of kicked out in a way of the group friends. He kind of did his own thing. People were kind of wondering what happened to him. He ends up showing back up to this little party. There was a little get together that they're all having, and he has this little game thing that he has, and they're able to switch bodies with people. And it gets a little confusing, and they're only able to do it for a certain amount of time before things can kind of start getting a little bit crazy, I suppose. Okay. They have to. They're trying to eventually switch back because they get stuck. I don't want to say why they get stuck, but they get stuck in a way.
Okay.
But they're all thinking it's a game. They're switching bodies here, there. It gets a little confusing, but they start wearing Polaroids to let you know who's in whose body.
Huh.
But when they're all having fun, you start thinking, what would happen if this thing happened?
Yeah.
I don't want to try to give it away because I think for a Netflix movie, it's a banger, man. It's an unlike you kind of go into it thinking what is this going to be some bullshit? But then once they start kind of having fun and the thing happens, you're kind of ooh,
okay,
oh shit, that really kind of gets you intrigued. It kind of I want to say it's akin to Talk to Me in a way. Did you ever see that?
No.
That's another.
I remember I think that was one of your honorable mentions last year, right?
Either honorable mentions or top 5.
Or top 5, yeah.
That was when they're able to grab the hand and then they say talk to me and then they get possessed for a certain amount of time and all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say this is almost akin to it. It's a cousin to that movie in a way. Mm-hmm. But It's What's Inside. It's definitely an I can't think of the word I want to look for. It's not what you would kind of expect. You don't think it's going to be as good, but once you actually watch it, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. So go on Netflix, check out It's What's Inside. That is my number 5 movie of 2024.
Nice.
What about you, man?
Man, I'm going to go ahead and get one on out that we're both going to share. It's going to be a lot higher for you, but Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit higher for me.
That's definitely so we can both talk about this if you want. But I love this movie. It's so fucking fun. I love the storyline. I love the cameos. It was so great seeing Captain America, Chris Evans back as the Human Torch, and that whole storyline, which was wild. It was great, of course, seeing Blade, then bringing back Elektra, seeing Rambo. I'm sorry, not Rambo. Gambit. My bad.
Rambo.
Whoops.
Dude, when this does come on my list. I won't say exactly where. I'll just leave that up to when we get up to it. But seeing Blade pop back, that got the big. I love Gambit. Ever since I was a kid, he's been my favorite X-Men personally. I mean, Wolverine's great, and even Cyclops. Even playing just go back playing the game on Super Nintendo, and even in the arcade. But Gambit was always my fucking dude, and so seeing him pop up was definitely bringing some nostalgia to me. But Blade, I was not quite expecting that. I heard like a rumor that they said Blade was popping in, but I was like, no fucking way, he ain't gonna be in this bitch. But seeing him come in, bro, that just really completes the movie in a way.
And I'm glad they didn't include that in the trailer. They fucking they better not.
Yeah. Well, like honestly, I still stand by that. I think that's why. I think that would have given Doctor Strange a little bit of a better review in people's minds, because as soon as they started showing Professor X and all that type of shit, then everybody was like, "Ooh, well, if they show that in the trailers, what are they going to show us in the movie?" And it was like, "Well, not much more than that."
Yeah.
So I think if they would have kept that under wraps, then I think the reveal would have been taken a lot better.
Bro, one of my favorite lines in this movie. I ain't know my daddy, but I'm sure I shouted out of his dick ready.
Yeah, all of those lines by Channing Tatum. Dude, he killed it so much that I think they said they were rumoring that they were gonna like keep him as their the MCU Gambit.
Fuck it, why not? Are you about like giving him a movie or just bringing him in with the X-Men?
Maybe
kind of thing, or both. I mean,
I think either or maybe both.
I mean, I totally get them bringing him into the X-Men. I don't know if he needs a solo movie though.
Well, if they give it, I'll be up for a solo movie as long as they just dial the accent back a little bit. It's like we don't need to like go too heavy onto it, like make it like too comical where it takes you out of it. Where it's like, okay, man, like we get it.
Here's the thing, I actually really want to see them do the X-Men with him and the Rogue romance.
Oh yeah,
I actually would like to really see that because I always love that dynamic in the cartoon.
Did you see the new one?
No.
They updated. Like they do a nice little job with that. I mean, spoiler alert: Gambit's not in it for a terribly long time.
I heard he dies.
Yeah, but they explore the romance with Rogue, but they kind of have like a bit of a love triangle with Magneto as well.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I did not expect that. I mean, cause I'm not a huge like comic book like fan in that aspect, so I didn't know like the ins and outs of like that part of that love triangle, but. They do explore that in the 97 series.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about that series.
It's good. I like that.
But yeah, this is my number 5, man. Highly recommend it. This movie is very rewatchable. In addition to the cameos, I really love the storyline that they wrote for Deadpool, and his arc in that movie was really fun to see unfold, and it starts off on a great high note too.
Yeah.
It's very irreverent, which is what you expect, but it just also, I think the nostalgia of seeing Hugh Jackman back in this role and wearing the 90s uniform, Wolverine uniform, it's just, man, it just hit.
Even like seeing all the like the montage of like Deadpool trying to find all of like the Wolverines. That was like because some of those was like straight out of the comic, like him on the giant X, like the crucifix and everything like that.
Also another great cameo.
Yeah, like seeing all those, even like their version of the Old Man Logan, and even I guess some people was like after seeing that little small part, they were like, "Hey, how about we do that version of Old Man Logan as well? Let's do that one, the green light that movie." And I'm like, shit, there's a couple of different ones. You could do that one. You can also do the one where they had the Hulk and Wolverine. People have been waiting for that for a long time. I know I've been waiting for that for a long time.
I mean, Hulk's going to give him that work, but...
yeah, I mean, Wolverine does, I guess he does kill him in the comic, but... Nah.
Wolverine kills Hulk?
Yeah, because Hulk ends up like chewing and like swallowing Wolverine, like killing him that way. But then his regenerative healing properties, he regenerates inside of the Hulk, and he rips himself out.
Damn,
it's kind of badass. But I was like, damn, because I am more of a Hulk guy than Wolverine personally. So I'm like, damn, I thought he got the leg up.
I'd like to see who would win between Hulk and Juggernaut. I'd pay to see that fight.
Yeah, I'm still.
I think the Hulk would win, but I think that it ain't gonna be easy.
No. Well, especially once Juggernaut gets like a full steam behind him. I don't know how many things are going to be able to stop him if that happens.
Yeah.
But Deadpool Wolverine, that like I said, that comes in at your number 5. That's
Yep.
going to come in a little bit later on my list.
Okay.
But it's also that's another movie that's streaming right now. And I love another quick note of that movie before we go on is how it begins, what you mentioned, but how they're like. The people were wondering how we were gonna like give honor to Logan, the movie Logan, and all that. We're not, and they show him immediately digging up the fucking corpse and all that shit. I was like, that is a perfect way to start it. And then you have the opening credits with him using the adamantium skeleton. Well, like, yeah, the claws as well, but him killing all the TVA with like the bones and stuff. That was such a great way to open up the movie, and kind of like Kingdom, where it had a lot to live up to. Not only with Deadpool 1 and 2 being very well received, but the MCU as a whole, the MCU is great as a whole, but particularly at this moment, it was kind of on a low swing.
Yeah.
So this movie really needed to hit, and it definitely hit. So
Absolutely.
And
it's
it
been
made
one
like
of the best
1.4
movies
billion.
they've made.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what's your number 4?
Number 4, I gave you guys a hint. So my number 4, it was going to be, I'm going to say it was Inside. Another Inside. Inside Out 2 is my number 4. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, even though my theater experience was kind of shit.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I mean, it is a kid's movie, but you got some kids got almost like those. You go to the basketball game and they got the little blow up things and that you could smack together.
Yeah.
They almost have those type of things, and they're just hitting the chairs.
In a movie theater?
Bro, swear to God.
Why they were giving those out in the movie theater?
I don't know, like they were giving them out. I don't know where they brought them from.
I was
but
gonna
like
say,
I don't know, like
that's-
it wasn't exactly like that, but it's something like shaped in that type of material.
I was going to say, idiots.
Bro, I looked right at that kid and I was just like, "Are you gonna be doing this for the whole movie?"
Mm-hmm.
And eventually he stopped. So I'm like, dude, am I gonna have to yoke up a fucking little 12-year-old right now? But all in all, the movie itself is amazing. I think it's a great inside look to Riley the character, and also to us as viewers of us dealing with like certain things and whatnot. We can always take some stuff from these movies. Pixar does a great job of doing that to make it viewable for not only for the kids but for the adults as well.
Yep.
Inside Out 2 is no exception to that. So another movie that's streaming right now as well.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen Inside Out 2, check out the first one, check out our review, and then go check out Inside Out 2.
Yeah, even better than the first one, in my opinion. I mean,
Yeah, once they bring anxiety,
and
into
I
the picture,
really
oh,
liked
bro.
the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that the first one literally when we reviewed it. I hadn't seen it before, and then shortly after that, I watched the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Great movie, man.
Oh yeah.
That's what's up. So for me, man, my number 4 movie is Nora. This is directed by Sean Baker.
Heard a lot about that.
Man, I got a lot of love for Sean Baker. He wrote and directed The Florida Project with Willem Dafoe. That dropped not too long ago, a few years ago. Excellent movie. And he returns with this movie. This movie is about a young sex worker from Brooklyn whose life takes an unexpected turn when she meets and impulsively marries Vanya, the impetuous son of a Russian billionaire. This movie opens up in a really great way, and it ends also on a way that really lands for me. It won't land for everybody.
Be careful, because I do want to watch this.
I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil it. But this movie at times, if it starts off as this kind of Cinderella, pretty woman, stripper/hooker, ends up getting married to this young billionaire, this spoiled billionaire, and then it kind of pivots into this like fever dream where it's like this frantic kind of chase scene in a way that kind of reminded me of how I felt watching Uncut Gems. Mm-hmm. It's kind of this anxiety-inducing, but it's got a lot of humor throughout it.
Mm-hmm. Very fast-paced.
Very fast-paced. Once it really kicks off, yeah. Excellent movie. Seemed like something A24 would have done, but this is actually by Neon, distributed by Neon. But highly recommend this movie.
I feel like Neon is just like A24 adjacent.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
They're pretty much almost like and they deal with the same stuff.
Holy shit! Are they our generation's New Line Cinema and Miramax?
Hopefully for the movies, not for the legal stuff.
Yes, but of course.
But of course, dude. But like I kept hearing about Anora, and I know it's getting a lot of acclaim right now, especially with the award season right around the corner. But I kept hearing about it, and then it didn't really catch me because I was just like, whatever. I didn't really see a trailer for it. I just kept hearing about it. But then I kept seeing clips on social media, and then that's what kind of like got me more interested. And because I'm like, this looks like it's kind of wild, kind of funny.
It is wild. It is wild.
And
it is very fun too.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, this movie seems a little bit nuts. Like I don't know what it's about, but like these little clips are just kind of getting me interested to see like where the fuck are we going with it? Like how did these characters end up in this situation?
I think this is another thing too. This is what I love about all these indie movies, or these movies that had that vibe. Anyways, I'm not sure if he's still considered indie, but I said he probably is. Sean Baker. I mean, this movie, like I love this, like the cinematography in some of these scenes is really great. In general, like across this movie, it's something that I really appreciated. The soundtrack is dope. There's actually quite a bit of sex in this movie, but which actually kind of surprised me. But so there was that, and I think the writing is just really, really good. And so yeah, definitely check this out, man. I'm so really glad that I caught it in theater. I mean, it's got a 96% from the critics and 90% from the audience. So I mean, both sides were really rocking with this movie.
Yeah, that's like I said, it's on my list to watch. Like, there was a few movies. I'll actually list them off for just real quick. Real quick. They're not going to be on my top 5, but it was Saturday Night, Cuckoo, Strange Darling, Juror Number 2, and Heretic. Those were like a couple of movies that I haven't seen yet.
Heretic was cool.
Don't know if they would have made my honorable mentions or my top 5, but those are ones that I definitely need to get around to viewing ASAP. And Anora is on that list as well. Especially, like I said, it's already getting a lot of acclaim, and I already saw those clips, so I'm going to watch that at ASAP.
For sure. Yeah, that's my number 4, man. What's your number 3?
Number 3 is where Deadpool and Wolverine slide in for me. I don't think we really need to talk too much more about Deadpool Wolverine. It was a great movie. Yeah,
I ain't mad at you.
Nah. It was such a wonderful movie. Seeing Hugh Jackman return as the Wolverine, and especially like also like I mentioned,
fight sequences,
dude, putting the whole like, oh well, he's too tall to play Wolverine. Wolverine should be like comic accurate, and then seeing him hop off that bar stool, bro, it's like, well, this is what you wanted, so this is what you got. Now what do you want? Now what do you got to say about it? That's a highlight for me in that movie. The montage scene, them killing all the Deadpools at the end.
That was
Lady
good.
Deadpool, the kid Deadpools,
yeah.
Dude, nice Deadpool, a nice pool. Oh my god, like regenerative powers.
Oh no, that was so sad.
It was so heartbreaking, man.
Okay,
oh man.
Okay, so I would be remiss if I didn't bring up one of my favorite scenes in this movie, man. Excuse me. Is when they fight in the fucking car where he said, I'm going to fight you now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, are you? And when he stabs him in the ribs, like, you dirty bitch. That scene is so great, dude.
Dude, when he goes, a baby knife. Dude, that shit is hilarious. He's like, I had it all wrong. This car fucks hard. Dude, but before they get into it, like it was came before that was like such like almost like a very heartbreaking scene. Like Hugh Jackman, Wolverine just fucking lays into
Wade. Yeah.
Wade. It really makes you feel bad for Wade. And so when he's just like, I'm gonna fight you now, it's like we were all kind of feeling that. It's like if somebody went that far,
dress you down like that.
Yeah, like oh my god. But it was such a great fight.
There's nothing else that needs to be said right now.
Yeah, it's like
these are talking.
Yeah, it's like I don't know whether you can beat me or I can beat you.
We got to fight.
We're about to fight right now. So this has to happen. But that's a highlight, like you said, as well as this movie.
And I just love the reaction on Hugh Grant's face as the blood trickles. from his nose.
You say Hugh Grant?
I mean, Hugh Jackman. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Hugh Jackman. When Hugh Jackman gets
Yeah,
punched
yeah,
and the
yeah,
blood trickles down. You
Yeah.
said heretic, so I was thinking about that's why.
for a second, I was like, did Hugh Grant jump in this? I thought you were thinking of the what's his name? The guy that was like that gets his fucking brain fucked by old girl.
Oh God, no!
I forgot what his name
That shit
was.
was disturbing.
Oh my god. The visual of that was amazing.
It was really
man.
good.
That looked so good.
Crazy though.
But yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine, that slides in my number 3. Amazing movie.
All right, you ready for it? This is gonna be on your list.
Oh shit! I think
Alien Romulus. Yo.
I'll already like even just like say it right now too. That comes in my number 2.
Okay.
So like we could just talk about it right now.
For sure. So this is directed by Fede Alvarez. This man he's made a better movie even than Evil Dead, which I definitely I enjoyed that movie.
Check out that review as well. We did that. So
yeah.
check it out.
He came back into this. This movie is even better. The cinematography on this, beautiful. It is a successful. It melds together some of the best elements of Alien. Some of the horror elements. Let me say that some of the horror elements from Alien, and the action sequences from Aliens. And I think that this is probably, in my opinion, one of the third best of the entire Alien franchise. I put this behind Alien and Aliens. But I can't recommend this movie enough. The cinematography is excellent. The visual effects look great. The action sequences are so much fun. And the ending is a bit of a twist. But the visuals of that were also just fucking excellent. Yeah,
I would
see this movie.
I would even go as far to say that this might be battling it out like with Aliens as my favorite Alien movie.
Word.
Because Alien, I mean, I would say Alien comes. We also did that review.
Yeah.
Go check that out. I think Alien comes in, even though it is an iconic film, I'm not taking anything away from it. These are all bangers. Mm-hmm. But I want to say that one maybe comes in at a number 3 pace because I do love horror and action, but I feel like that's when Aliens and Alien Romulus like really hit all the notes for me personally. I love horror. I love action. They're hitting both of those notes simultaneously.
Yeah.
They do a great blend of both of those. So like, both of those movies to me are battling it out for my favorite Alien movie. But to me, this is whether or not like anybody agrees with that. What I think everybody can agree with is that this is probably easily the best Alien movie since Aliens.
Well, what I would say about this movie that I think is better than Alien is the character depth you get from the characters.
Yeah,
but you actually get a clear sense of their lives. They work on this colony at the mercy of the fucking evil corporation. Mm-hmm. And you just kind of, I feel like you're much more grounded in those characters. So I actually do that. That's something that I think is better done in this than Alien. Alien, of course, surpasses this in terms of the mystery. I think I got to give the nod to the actual visual effects as well as the chest burster scene. Oh, yeah. I think that's one of the greatest movie moments, period, irrespective of genre.
Yeah.
And it's just hard to surpass that. But they did do a great job, to be fair, with Romulus.
And one thing I think I would take Aliens over Romulus is, like you were mentioning with the characters, is I'm more attached to Sigourney Weaver's Ripley and even Bill Paxton. Just personally, I love Bill Paxton as an actor. Mm-hmm. And so seeing him in his role, like, we're really in this shit now, man.
Yeah.
Bro, that just gets me every time. Even the characters in Romulus, they're great. And like even seeing them and like seeing their struggle and like you can really just like you can see why they were like taking the risk that they did.
Yeah. And
so, but like, I think I would probably take the Aliens just because I will fuck with Ripley over any other characters in Romulus personally. Even though they did good a job with the characters, but I still would probably take Ripley. over any of those characters.
Dude, I mean, the fucking scene in Romulus when they're running from the face huggers, bruh. That scene was excellent. The opening sequence was really dope. The POV of the workers on the colony or the at the mining site, that was like, I love that background, the context. The droids are usually a pretty fascinating like dynamic. Dude, there's just so much love about this movie. I mean, dude. I mean, to me, this was a return to form for the franchise.
But as though like we are glazing it a lot, I will have to say there is one standout negative for me, and it is that liner that the droid fucking delivers, and it is the throwback line of "Stay away from her, you bitch."
Yeah.
And he kind of delivers it to her exactly kind of how I just delivered it right there.
Yeah, it just was not. Don't do that.
It just didn't quite
just
hit.
leave it.
You didn't need to do that. Just leave it how it was. Like Ripley delivers it, and it hits so hard in that movie, especially with the lead up to it and everything. You don't really need to have that callback personally. And if you're gonna deliver the line too, if you're gonna call it back, deliver the. I mean, granted, in my theater, people thought it was funny. And maybe that's what they were going for. They were going for a more comedic tone in that line. But me personally, I like the more like ferocious tone.
Yeah.
I like for that. Stay away from her, you bitch.
Yeah.
I don't just like. I don't like the more monotone version personally.
No, it doesn't work like that. And plus, I mean, dude, also I got to give the nod to the fucking visuals when you first see the Queen. That shit was so fucking dope. Oh man, it still looks dope.
Yeah.
And the whole like just encountering this fucking villain. Oh man, iconic.
You want to know
iconic in the final fight scene. Iconic.
Ryan Romulus.
No, in Aliens.
Oh yeah.
Where she's in the suit. Oh
yeah. And then honestly, like too, that's why like. Well, then I don't even want to get into Alien 3, how they kill like the little girl off camera and all that type of bullshit. That's why I think Romulus is easily the best Alien movie since Aliens.
Yeah, I agree.
Alien 3, then you have Alien Resurrection, the Alien vs. Predators movies, which I thought was okay. The first one, the Requiem, I want to say the second one was that what it was? Some shit like that.
Yeah.
Whichever was the second one, no, not good at all. The one with Sanaa Lathan, the first one, it was It was kind of like a Prometheus in a way where like I don't mind rewatching it to have some fun with it, but I don't really hold it in like.
I almost don't even really factor those in, to be honest. When I'm thinking about the Alien franchise, I really think the first three, Resurrection, and then I jump straight to Prometheus.
Yeah, because
I'm gonna also factor in the TV series Aliens Earth or Alien Earth because that shit.
Oh yeah. Totally forgot about that's coming out.
It's next year.
Yes, sir. So hopefully they're on a trajectory of going up. Maybe they can do another Alien vs Predator and make it real good.
I mean, I heard that they're in talks. I mean, Ridley Scott has been in the public talking about the new Alien movie that he's working on. I can't remember if I read the script was finished, but he's publicly speaking about that, and. I think that, am I mistaken, but was there rumors out there about this director returning for, Alvarez returning for a sequel?
I think they were.
Was that just rumored?
I think it was just a rumor. Nothing like was like finalized.
Shit, why not?
Deal, but like,
honestly, why the hell not?
if you see like the way he has like a good vision with like especially like these horror movies and stuff, like why would you not just like, hey man, just here's some more money. Just you don't even necessarily have to up the budget. Maybe you can up the budget. You don't need to go super crazy with it, but just something reasonable and just keep at least the same director in charge and just let him work, man.
Hell yeah. But yeah, that's so that was my 3 and that was your 2.
Yeah, so I guess we'll get your number 2 right now.
All right, my number 2 is Saturday Night.
Yeah, see, that's one I gotta watch.
I absolutely really dig this movie. It's directed by Jason Reitman, also known for Thank You for Smoking, Juno, and Ghostbusters Afterlife. So I guess this is a summary for those of you who aren't familiar with this. So the summary is at 11:30 p.m. on October 11th, 1975, a ferocious troupe of young comedians and writers change television everywhere for forever. Find out what happened behind the scenes in the 90 minutes leading up to the first broadcast of Saturday Night Live. This movie, I love the pacing of it. It's very, it feels like a fast, it's just like a constant movement, a very high adrenaline scene where we come to meet various characters, including John Belushi, Chevy Chase. So it's an absolutely.
Wasn't Dan Aykroyd too on there?
Yes, I can't remember the actor that played him, but he nailed it.
Yeah.
The guy that played Belushi was a little kind of moody.
The guy that plays Dan Aykroyd is I want to say it's Dylan O'Brien. Is the actor that's in the Maze Runner series. I forget what his name. I want to say it's like Dylan O'Brien, some shit like that.
Who else? Garrett Morris was played. He was also in that movie. I didn't realize that he, the father from, or the uncle from, the Jamie Foxx show. He was an original cast member of Saturday Night Live.
Hold on, who was it?
The uncle from Garrett Morris, the uncle from Jamie Foxx show.
Oh,
Junior?
that's who that guy was.
Yeah.
Somebody was like, I thought that was Eddie Murphy, and then it took me from. They were like, I can't remember how long it was into the movie before they realized, wait a minute, that's not Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
Well,
that actually will make my viewing a lot even more entertaining then, so I know who it is, because I had no idea who that dude was.
I think with this movie, something that I thought was really great that they did. Willem Dafoe was in it. He plays a really great. He's kind of like a corporate. He's like a corporate network head.
Dude, William Dafoe is like white Samuel Jackson.
That's hilarious,
bro.
Man.
That dude is in everything, man.
Yeah, he definitely, man. He's getting money. But it was really great to see that just the politics behind the scene, where the network was giving them this opportunity to do this sketch comedy show, expecting it to fail. And using that as leverage against, I think, Johnny Carson, to kind of lowball him or to underpay him. And so what they're going to do is, if it failed, they always had the backup of just running a rerun. And if they could show that even when he wasn't there, they could still get the views. Well, you're not as valuable as you think, so we're going to pay you a little bit less if we can get away with this. And so that was like a really interesting underlying tension throughout that whole movie, is that the Lorne Michaels, the actual creator, director, one of the writers, he learns this, and that puts an added level of pressure, because he's kind of pitching them. He's trying to maintain this mystery of, what this show is. Everybody's like, well, what is the show? It's like his manager was basically trying to get him to break this down, define what the show is, so he could give this information to the corporate execs, everybody who's kind of flown in to be present for this, to watch this. And it's just, dude, so much goes wrong, and it's just fucking a great story.
Well, it's good to see, everybody knows the powerhouse that SNL is today. It's been running for a number of years. So to see just the beginnings, the crazy beginnings of it, it's really interesting. At least to me it is. And at least when you've seen the trailer or clips from it, it seems very frantic, and it's very akin to, I know a lot of people have seen The Bear recently, and there's been a couple episodes in that series where the shit is especially when the system goes awry, and the online system, and they're just fire cooking everything
stressful.
and stuff like that. Yeah. Or when it might be the same episode, or when Oh Boy gets locked in the freezer and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, at the end of season 2.
Or was it like the Seven Fishes episode with like the Christmas dinner.
Oh man.
Yeah, when they're all like, so like if you've enjoyed like that series, like The Bear, or like those episodes, like those are very akin to like this is like a movie version.
John Bernthal is the brother.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Nailed it.
What's his name? That's a Nobody. Better Call Saul.
Yeah, Saul Goodman.
He finally snaps and he throws the
fork.
Or was it a fork?
Yeah, something at him. Yeah, dude.
Oh my god.
Excellent movie.
But I just like
show.
how,
I mean, but yeah, dude.
Mm-hmm. I
highly
just like
recommend this one.
how crazy and frantic it was when I first saw like the trailer for it. I'm like, dude, I'm interested to see how this started. Like I said, we already know how it ends, but it looks interesting to see how it begins.
Hell yeah. But yeah, that's my number 2, man.
Well, for number 1, my number 1 movie of 2024
All right.
is Dune Part 2.
Damn, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fuck, I forgot about that movie.
Yeah, I surely didn't.
Damn.
It made an impression on me because I don't know, like was not even aware of even like the Dune series at all. Like I didn't even really watch the first Dune until like years after it got like till pretty much the part 2 got released, and I kept hearing people just talking about like Dune this, Dune that, and all that bullshit. And so I'm like, all right, well, let me watch the first one before I go and watch the second one. And I watched the first one like kind of on a late night tip, and I ended up watching the whole fucking thing. And the whole story and like the world building and even the characters, it was like real super interesting for me. And so as soon as I went and saw like the second one, like that was one of like I want to get to the theaters more often, especially going to see some of these movies back to back. But I just don't have the time or the effort like right now to see certain movies back to back.
Yeah.
But this was a rare exception for me. This was a movie I saw at least 2, maybe 3 times in theaters. Just because like there are certain moments in this movie where like you see it and you can just like feel like the bass and the vibrations, like especially when he's riding the fucking sandworm and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they have like the score playing. They got that fucking little chick doing that little bullshit, bro. Shit was so hilarious.
That's hella funny.
Did you see this movie by chance?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah,
so
I saw it
like
in theater.
when old boy like passes out and Zendaya comes and like wakes him up with her tears, and then she slaps him and walks off. Bro, she slaps him and then they hit the low. I was like, bro, do you really need to hit that right now? I'm like, they're using that in almost a comedy way at this point. But this movie was fantastic. Even like the villain, Austin Butler, he was really known for like his portrayal as Elvis at this point. Mm-hmm. So seeing him in this like totally like 180 role. It. Yeah, dude. And like the visual of him, seeing Batista as like playing like his brother or little cousin, whatever their relation is. Just like so many different characters. Just the whole movie was just fantastic, man. A very standout for me. This is my number 1 movie of 2024.
I did like that movie. I completely blanked on that one. Damn. Mm-hmm. I gotta make sure. I gotta start keeping lists. I
tell you, man. Like, yeah, like we gotta
makes a
make
world of
list
difference.
And, like, so like it'll make it so much easier to like go back and like see everything that you watched.
Most definitely. Okay, so my number 1 movie. This might surprise you. Strange Darling. This movie is directed by J.T. Molnar. Man, it's a suspense thriller. The summary of this movie, man. Nothing is what it seems when a twisted one-night stand spirals into a serial killer's vicious murder spree. This movie is an example of excellent storytelling that really capitalizes on misdirection. I haven't seen a movie with this kind of misdirection. I don't know how long. I have to really think about that. But this movie was well shot, well acted, extremely suspenseful, full of plot twists. It's just, yeah. This is a movie that I really want to go back to as well. It was filmed in Oregon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does it actually mention that, or like that was just like a note?
Well, I don't remember if they mention it in the movie or not, but we, a friend and I attended a viewing at Cinemagic, and they had a Q&A with a couple of people who worked behind the scenes, and one of them was actually somebody who scouted the locations for filming, and he mentioned it was in Oregon.
Nice.
Yeah, so I can't remember if it was explicitly stated in the movie, but that it was actually shot here. But yeah, it's a great movie. I highly recommend it. I feel like you'll fuck with it. I feel like you'll be like, what the fuck?
Well, like I saw like
I'm not gonna get text from you, bro. It's gonna start with bro.
I already saw the trailer for it like before you watched it, and I was like, "This movie looks kind of wild." I'm like, "This looks kind of weird," because it started off with like, and I was like, "The cinematography of it looks kind of crazy too." Just like certain shots with like they're sitting in the car and it's just illuminated by like that blue little neon light or whatever, and they're just kind of talking, and I think she says something like, "Are you a serial killer?" Or she asks him a certain question that like changes the tone of the trailer, because it starts off like it's going to be like some little love story, but then when she asks him, I think that's what she says, like, "Are you a serial killer?" or "Have you killed somebody?" or something like that. The tone changes and it goes from like him, like she's like running away and all this wild shit happening, and he has got this shotgun and shit, and I think there's like an old couple or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But then I just kept going. I'm like, all right, maybe I'll come back to that. Let me see what else they got. And then I ended up, I think, watching something else because I had to pay for that. And I was like, I don't really want to pay for it. Maybe I'll just wait. But then you ended up saying that you watched it and how good it was. So I was like, damn. I was like, maybe I should just pay for it. I was like, fuck it. And then so I still didn't end up paying for it. But that's why it's on my, it didn't make my honorable mentions because I haven't seen it. But just like Saturday Night, Strange Darling was on the my list of movies that I need to watch that could have potentially made my top 5 as well. But Strange Darling I'm going to watch that at easily before the end of the year. So maybe that'll be on the season 2 of 5 on it. So look out for that.
It's also one of those movies that's told in a non-linear way, and we talked about this with Pulp Fiction. I love movies that do that. I really enjoyed Memento. I'm a fan of that. It doesn't put me off as long as it's done in a way that is, it's engrossing. You know what I mean? So I'm good. I'm good.
As long as they can tell the story where it actually makes sense too, because like if you're gonna tell it out of order, it has to make sense.
And not in a confusing way like Tenet, where I got to watch this a few times.
Yeah,
you feel me? Like I like Tenet, but I had to watch it a few times. But that's my number 1 movie.
Honestly, I think our lists are very similar. Like
pretty similar,
especially if you add in, like I said, the movies that I just
honorable mentions.
5. Yeah, well, like before the honorable mention, like I said, Saturday Night, Cuckoo, Strange Darling, Juror Number 2, and Heretic. So if you mention even like Saturday Night, Strange Darling, man, we got a lot of the similar movies.
Definitely have some similar lists for sure.
Ain't that something?
While we're on the topic, I got a couple of not top 5s.
Oh,
bro.
shit.
The Joker 2. I
still haven't seen that. Like
bro.
Seeing the reviews off of that movie took the win from my sales. I don't even really want to fuck with that movie.
And here's the thing. It's not my top 5. It was an extremely disappointing movie for me. But that was more because of the writing. I thought Joaquin Phoenix did a great job. I thought Lady Gaga did a great job. I liked the concept that they had with, making this a courtroom drama. But damn, it was just too. I even like some of the musical sequences. They just did not. The writing was not good. This felt like a draft 3 of what should have been like at least several more.
Like a 10 drafts.
Yeah.
Somebody said like this is what happens when like you make a movie to like make a sequel to a movie that shouldn't have had like that you had no intention on like having a sequel to, and it's like, yeah, I mean I could see that like if you go into a movie thinking like this is gonna be one and done, whatever, but as soon as you say, all right, sure, I'll make a sequel to it, it's like, man, you gotta take this seriously. And maybe Todd Phillips just didn't take this as seriously as maybe he should have. That's
unfortunate to hear because, to me, you didn't come in here. It felt like you approached this project with like a lackluster, unenthusiastic, like, all right, fine, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Bro, don't do it. Don't do it then.
I know it's like
I mean, I know you're gonna get the bag, but bro, don't do that.
It's like
I really hope that's not true. That's how he was approaching this.
Yeah, because like even though I get it, they're throwing a shit ton of money your way, but it's like have like I don't want maybe for lack of a better term, just call it like art integrity. It's like if you leave it up to somebody else to try to do it. Like if you can't actually do like a really good job, if you feel like in your heart you're just like, I can't give this the justice that it deserves. Especially after the first movie you did, that was like, I mean, I still don't. It's not my favorite movie, but I know a lot of people. It's still a good movie. It's not a bad movie at all. But shouldn't you like want to either, have something that like that's in just as high a regard as that can really be looked into the same light? Or if you feel like you're just like, no, I don't want to do another sequel. Like I don't really want to fuck around with that. Give it to somebody who's going to do that.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: were you calling for a Joker sequel?
Me personally,
yeah.
No.
Nor was I. So I'm curious how many people were, because I suspect not a lot of people were calling for this. They were maybe optimistic or like, when they heard you were doing a sequel. But bro, like, if a lot of people aren't pressing you to aren't asking for this, don't feel pressed to make a picture you don't want to make.
Exactly.
That's fucking stupid.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, just either take the job because you feel like you're going to get paid regardless. You're
invested in it. You want to make this picture. Like,
yeah, take it because you feel like you can give something that's worthy. But I mean, maybe he feels like this is a really good job.
I'm saying this. If that were true,
yeah,
I really hope that that's not true. I haven't read that. I hadn't heard that before.
I don't know. Maybe Todd Phillips will take it to his grave there. He's like, man, I tried. Joker 2 was a banger. And it's like, bro, maybe because like
this movie's not going to age better.
They were just saying like how with original content he's great, just like Hangover, and then he did Hangover 2. I'm not sure if he did 3, but Hangover 2 is just not good either.
Damn.
So it's like maybe
it's a sophomore slump.
Yeah, maybe it's a sequel thing, or it's like he's a great idea. He's a great like creative thinker of like creating something brand new. But it's like, all right, now you got to build something on top of that, and it's like, maybe he feels too like constricted.
Yeah, constricted. I get what you mean.
Yeah, constricted, not constricted.
What was I going to say? I got that. That's on my not top 5, and I got to throw Longlegs out there. I was so disappointed in Longlegs. I didn't connect at all with the protagonist. This movie was kind of mentioned in the same breath as Silence of the Lambs. It ain't no Silence of the Lambs. The lead played Clarice is such a stronger character, such a more identifiable character for me. And yeah, I mean, I thought the concept was good. I thought there was elements of it that were really creepy and eerie at times, but man, it just was. Seeing also Nicolas Cage, I almost said Johnny Cage. Oh my God, that's funny.
Combat 2's on the way
though. Seeing Nicolas Cage in that kind of over the top role, at times it took me out of it. It was creepy, but it took me out of the moment sometimes because we felt overacting.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, definitely not in my top 5. Not a good movie. Those two I just was very disappointed in. What about you, man?
Dude, I didn't even realize that we were doing a not top 5.
I was just I'm not. I don't literally have 5. I was just thinking. I was like, speaking of not top 5, I don't literally have 5 right now, but those two are definitely movies that I was extremely disappointed in.
Longlegs, I wanted to watch it. It seemed pretty good, and people was like kind of praising it. But I did see some clips where like they just kept talking about the look of Nicolas Cage, and once I actually saw him, I was like, yeah, I mean, it looks kind of creepy. I don't know. Like, I guess when I keep hearing people hype up shit, it rarely lives up to the billing, especially like in horror when they're just like, it was so scary. Oh my God. Like when they talk about also like the behind the scenes type stuff, like how the actress was so shaken by the look of Nicolas Cage and all that type of stuff. Like after seeing some, like I said, some clips, like when you mentioned overacting, that's just kind of like in that Nicolas Cageism, where it's like sometimes he hits it nail on the head. Where it's like, dude, your over the topness is like killing it right now. In a good way, and sometimes you're killing it in a bad way.
Yeah.
So I guess this is one of those where I guess
This
it
didn't work for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you? Got anything for your not
Honestly,
top five?
I can't think of anything off the top. Actually, I can. Like, one's disappointing was like Rebel Moon. That was definitely disappointing. The Zack Snyder movie, just because I was hearing like it was like his Star Wars vision in a way, and so I'm like, and I like Zack Snyder. I like a lot of his movies, 300, Watchmen, the director's cut of Justice League, Batman, Superman, director's cut of that as well.
Watchmen is a really good movie too. Yeah.
But seeing seeing some of the trailers, I was like interested in it, but then actually watching the movie, I was just like, no, this is not it.
Oh,
and there's
man,
just like
it's a
some
bummer.
weird cuts to it because they were like, oh, we're actually going to do a director's cut because of like the whole DC stuff that happened with that. They were like, oh, we're gonna do a Rebel Moon director's cut version, and then there was just a lot of weird bullshit going on with that movie.
Yeah.
And it just didn't quite hold up. Even visually, like parts of it look good, parts of it looks fucking like trash. That's definitely a huge disappointment. I didn't even fuck with the second one because I'm just like, I've already checked out of the first one.
Damn. That's a bummer, man. Because I actually did look like I thought it looked promising when I saw some of the visuals and
I did too, and I like the cast too. Like especially old boy from Sons of Anarchy, Charlie Hunnam, and what's his name? I can't think of his name off the top of my head. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy, black dude. He's got the little goatee. I think was he in Amistad too?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Damson.
He was in Blood Diamond.
Yeah, that dude.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
I can't think of.
He was also in that Constantine movie. I liked him in that even.
The Keanu Reeves one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's
not top five.
That's one that just like at least just off the top of my head, I know there was some other ones. I'm sure, I'm sure Venom 3 is going to be on there. I haven't seen it yet, but
I'll enjoy that for what it is. I like those movies.
I've been able to. I want to say I did pretty good this year of steering away from some of the bullshit.
Yeah.
Like I've been listening to like at least some of the people that I kind of follow as well. They've been steering me in a decent direction. So I haven't been seeing too many movies that I can like really draw from the top of my head that was trash or very disappointing. But I know, like I said, Rebel Moon is on that list, but that's about all I can think of right now.
All right. Well, this will be our last episode for the new year. Before the new year, we'll be back on the 14th of January. We're still trying to figure out what we're gonna review. Kind of up in the air right now, but yeah, we'll be back online. Like you're releasing again on the 14th. And Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, quick little break from the movie loving butt smoking duo, but we will be back stronger than ever for season 2. Thank you to all the fans for supporting the show, giving us out there all the likes, the views, the comments, the shares, the subscribes. So let's just get back for season 2, get us bigger, better, get us out there to more eyeballs, keep butt smoking, keep movie loving, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.